Hello and welcome to another episode of the Money Clarity Podcast. Today we are diving into high yield savings accounts. So we're going to talk about what is a high yield savings account, why you should consider one, what are some of the benefits to high yield savings accounts, even though, as you know, my favorite budgeting software is YNAB and they teach you to just use one checking account. So what are some of the benefits to having this, and then also downsides to having a second account linked in YNAB. And stay till the end and I will share with you my favorite high yield savings account that I have been using for more than 10 years. If we haven't met before, hi there, my name is Lindsey Ciarrocca. I am a YNAB certified coach and a certified money coach, and my goal is to help you take control of your money so that you can live your greatest life with clarity and confidence. And along the way, I hope to help you learn to love budgeting just as much as I do. All right, let's start with the basics. What is a high yield savings account? A high yield savings account, or you'll likely see it abbreviated as HYSA, is just like a regular savings account at your local bank, but the main difference is the interest rate, or how much money they pay you to have your money sitting in this account. So traditional banks usually give you less than 0.25%, so 0.25%. Usually it's honestly closer to 0.01%, which is basically pennies. And while I love picking up a penny off the ground and do not discount pennies, there is a better option that you can use, and that is a high yield savings account, because the interest rates on those currently are around 3.5%. So essentially you're getting free money for just letting your cash sit there. So what is this interest rate based on? The interest rate is actually based on something that the Federal Reserve sets called the federal funds rate. And this is the interest rate that banks charge each other for lending their money overnight. Not really anything you need to know, but can be helpful background information. So basically, if you hear on the news about the Fed raising rates, that means it's becoming more expensive to borrow money. So things like your credit card interest might go up. You'll likely see mortgage rates going up eventually. But that also means that the interest rate on your savings account is going to go up, or can go up. So what does this translate to in actual dollars? So currently the rate on my traditional savings account is actually 0.25%, which I was kind of surprised by. So in that case, if I have $100 in my bank account, I would earn 25 cents for the year for that $100. Whereas if I had it in a high yield savings account earning 3.5%, I would earn $3.50 over that 12 months. And while that doesn't sound like a lot of money, once you start to grow your savings, and if you're using YNAB the way I teach it and the way the software is meant to be used, or you're starting to set aside money that you're not using for a few months at a time, right? So if you're planning for your true expenses and setting aside money for an expense that's 6, 8, even 12 months down the road, that money's just going to be sitting there. So wouldn't you like to earn a little bit more on it than 0.01% or 0.25%? So imagine if you had $1,000 in money that is waiting for jobs down the road. Now you're earning $35 per year versus $2.50. Again, not life-changing amounts, but it compounds over time. So if you get up to the point where you have $10,000 in that account, you're earning $350 a year for just letting that money sit there versus 25. And I don't know about you, but I'm totally willing to take $350 free dollars from the bank just for letting me have my money sit there, right? Seems like a no-brainer to me. So those are the basics of a high yield savings account and why you should consider one, because they obviously just pay you more for letting your money sit there. But if you're in the YNAB world, YNAB teaches one account, one single checking account. And honestly, that is the way to start in the beginning. It is more simple. It is the simplest way to start is just to have one single checking account linked to your YNAB account. The reason for this is it just adds a layer of complexity to be transferring money between accounts, between your regular checking account and your high yield savings account. Because in the YNAB world, YNAB doesn't care where the money is. So if you have $200 in your checking account, but you have $1,000 in your high yield savings account, but then you go to look at your budget and you have $600 to spend on a home repair. If you go to try to spend that money out of your checking account, you don't have enough in there. So it just adds a layer of complexity, which honestly is not worth it in the beginning when you're just getting started and just trying to get a handle on the whole YNAB system and how it works. So I still recommend just having one account when you're getting started. However, once you start to get into the YNAB habit, once you're starting to see your checking account balance consistently creep up, maybe now you're sitting there and it's been a year or two and you're like, oh, my checking account just kind of regularly has $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 sitting in it. This is actually what happened to us. I got to the point where we had $6,000 or $7,000 just sitting in our checking account. I was like, that money could be earning more money elsewhere. So that is the benefit to having that account. So again, it creates that layer of complexity, and you do have to pay a little bit more attention, and you do have to make sure that you're transferring money back and forth. But when you're earning $350 a year versus $35 a year, it definitely could be worth considering. Okay, so the last thing I want to share with you today is my favorite bank account that I have been using for more than 10 years, which is where I have all of our high yield savings accounts. And that bank is Ally. And they're an online only bank, so there are no brick and mortar institutions that you can walk into. But that's one of the benefits. That's one of the reasons they are able to offer a little bit of a higher interest rate, is because they don't have as much overhead. So like I said, I've been banking with them since I think 2012 or 2013, and have always had high yield savings accounts with them. So it can connect to your regular bank account, just like as an online transfer. It might take a day or two to move the money in between accounts, but it's still your money. You still have access to it. With Ally, you can also have a checking account. So the checking account, it is just like your normal one, where it doesn't have a lot, or if any, interest associated with it, but you could instantly move money from your savings to your checking, and your checking account can come with a debit card and checks if you need it. So then you have instant access to it. Otherwise, you just need to plan a little bit ahead and move money to your regular checking account. But this is where I move money every single month for things like our emergency fund, our property taxes that are paid twice a year, things like travel savings. We put several $100s into our travel category every month. I put that in there, but we're not spending it every month. So that just gets to sit in a high yield savings account and earn just a little bit more. I do have an affiliate link for Ally. It is theexuberantelephant.com/ally, which is spelled ALLY. And if you use my referral link, you could earn up to a $100 welcome bonus. So I'll leave that link in the show notes for you below. But again, remember, if you're just starting out, don't worry about this for now. Just get the hang of YNAB, figure out how it works, and get it to make sense for you so that you're using it consistently and that you're consistently putting money into those categories and letting that money start to build. All right, so there you have it. There are your basics of a high yield savings account. Like I said, abbreviated HYSA. So if you ever see that, that's what that is. And it's just like a regular savings account, except the bank is paying you more money to have your money there. So free money is always a great thing, right? Again, One downside being that it adds a layer of complexity to your YNAB budget, so I don't recommend it until you get to that stage where you're completely comfortable with YNAB. But once you do, again, now if you have money that's sitting around for 6, 8, 12 months, it's earning you just a little bit more. One other fun tip is that I like to take that interest that we earn every month. So when it comes in just like a transaction, so it gets assigned as ready to assign, so it's new money coming into our account. And what I do is I immediately assign that to whatever my priority is. Right now we're paying off a student loan. So I take that, last month I think we got $70 some. So I take that $70 some and assign it to the student loan. Again, this can be confusing because you're thinking, wait, that money is in the savings account, but I need it in the checking account. Again, it doesn't matter in the YNAB world. So as long as you have money in your checking account where you need it, when the time comes to pay the thing, it's totally fine. So that's just a fun little trick to be able to chip away a little bit more at your debt, or if you want to beef up your savings in a certain way. Just every little dollar that comes in, you get to add it to a category. Because remember, YNAB rule number 1, every dollar gets a job. All right, so those are my tips for you about saving in a high yield savings account. All right, if you are just getting set up with YNAB and this is a little beyond what you're looking for right now, totally fine. I have a free YNAB category setup guide and template for you. Go ahead and download that. You'll find that at theexuberantelephant.com/YNAB, YNAB -setup. Of course, that link will be in the show notes for you as well. So go ahead and grab that if you're just getting started, or go ahead and check out Ally through my affiliate link in the link below. All right. Thanks so much for joining me on another episode of the Money Clarity Podcast. And remember, your biggest, wildest dreams are within reach. Let's go make some money moves so that you too can start to experience financial freedom.